Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dayna, and in this video I'm going to be talking about things I wish I knew in high school, just trying to help you guys learn from my experience and my mistakes during high school. High school's hard, okay? High school is freaking hard and tiring and exhausting and mentally draining, and I get it. I'm only 18, I left school about a year ago. Actually, probably exactly a year ago. I left about 3 months or one term before school finished, and I fucking graduated. And the short story for that is that I was struggling a lot with mental health and pressure, self-pressure and self-expectations at that point in my life. Probably a lot younger than I should have been. I got diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and depression. So going through all that, being put on medication was just really hard to balance while also in school, especially when 80% of my anxiety and self-pressures was coming from school. So I ended up having to leave, and I don't want that to happen to any of you, especially if you enjoy school, you prioritize school, which you should be in high school. It's your one job, it's your one focus in life for the time being. You should be focusing on school. However, you should also be enjoying it. My goal with this video is to explain where I went wrong and try help you guys. Honestly, I don't think me curling my hair for an hour is going to be very fun for you guys to watch. So I'm going to finish my hair and I'll be back to you when I'm doing my makeup. Slay, this is what my hair looks like. Okay, obviously I need to brush out the curls and tame it, but okay, listen, this is what it looks like in the beginning, but after a couple hours, all the curls drop and it will look different. Trust the process. I'm not sure where my headband is, so I'm gonna have to use these silly little clips. Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna be looking over here a lot because that's where my mirror is. This is a look. Maybe this is the final look. Thanks for watching. Okay, so let's start with school. Or learning, or the actual reason we are there. If you are someone who was kind of naturally smart or kind of got good grades without putting in a lot of effort, and that's kind of where I fell. I did put in effort and I did study and I enjoyed school, but I did naturally get good grades without having to put in 100%. And so it was kind of a shock to my freaking system when I got into my later years of high school and all of a sudden the grades weren't matching. Yeah, school gets harder, and I think obviously school gets harder, but it kind of naturally progresses throughout high school, throughout primary, throughout your years of school. It kind of naturally progresses, but in the last 2 years of school, it shoots like crazy. And for someone like me, I put a lot of pressure on my grades and I found validation through academics, and that was really important to me. So after putting so much pressure on myself to get the best grades and do super well, when it got harder and I couldn't match those grades anymore, it really took a toll on me. So that leads me to my first point. It is okay if you aren't the best, okay? Whether that be in school, whether that be in sport, whether that be in clubs, it is okay. Truly, you are going to be okay. You are going to get where you want in life without being the best, without getting absolutely perfect marks. It is not life or death. School is about learning. It's not about being the best. If you stay getting perfect grades your entire life, you're not truly learning and progressing because you've always been perfect. And I am not saying just give on up, okay? Forget about school, because school is so important. Understanding how to learn, taking in new information, learning how to study is so important, and it'll help you in so many ways in life outside of like your career or college or whatever. Learning how to learn and learning how to study, learning critical thinking skills is going to help you so much through life. But all you need to be doing is trying your best. The top grades, the amazing achievements, they feel nice, but you will be okay without them. In New Zealand, I feel like it isn't that big of a deal to like what university or college you get into, because there's not that many to choose from. So it's not that big of a deal, but I feel like in other countries it is. Like getting into the college you want, getting into the university you want is such a huge deal and so much pressure to put on a young person. The ability to higher your education and go to tertiary schools and further your education is such a privilege, and you should be proud to even get there in the first place. It doesn't matter where you go. Yes, there might be bitter fucking beautiful labels put on these Ivy League schools, but you getting a higher level of education is an achievement in itself, and not everyone has the privilege to be able to go to high school in itself, let alone college. I always imagine myself just finishing school, going to uni, going to get a job in that order, like a lot of people do. But that isn't the way it worked out for me. For whatever reason, that wasn't the path I was meant to be on. I now have had a year off school. I will be going to uni next year, but I have to do a year certificate before I can go into law school because I didn't finish school. And as much as that's disappointing that it is going to take me longer than my peers and I won't be on the same level as my peers, that is okay. That's my pathway. That's theirs. Like, we will both get to the places we want to be, no matter how that looks. The pressure in high school to know what you want to do at 18 is insane. We haven't even experienced the real world, and you expect us to know what we want to do for the next 50 years? Like, get a handle on it. Like, come on now. Blending that little patch of bronzer on my freaking neck is killing me. It's blended now. I don't know. Is it? I don't know what I was doing. Next is friends. This, I feel like, is probably the hardest part of high school. It is the part that consumes the most of your time because you're surrounded by these people every day. And it feels so important because it's all anyone around you is talking about or thinking about. And it can take a toll on you so detrimentally if you aren't around the right people and if you don't have the right values in your friends around you. You do not need to be popular, and even more than that, being popular is worse, okay? I have kind of seen both sides of the spectrum. I was never really popular in high school, but I was really close for a while there with the most popular girl. I just never really found myself in the popular group or around popular people, even though that was something I wanted so badly. I thought I would be so cool and be having so much more fun and experiencing my teenage years so much better if I was cool and popular and went to all the parties. That is further from the truth, and it's crazy that that's what so many young people believe. But I promise you, the popular kids are miserable. The friendships are all built on competitiveness and envy and hatred. They are miserable, and I forgot to put lotion on. It is 9 times out of 10 a toxic environment that you will feel so much worse being a part of. You are not going to find your true down-to-earth people in a situation like that. most of the time, right? And if you are sitting there in a situation where you feel like you're in this huge friend group where no one's really looking out for each other, it is okay to leave that situation. It's hard and it feels like you'll be alone, and maybe you will, but that's not so bad. You should enjoy your own company, because that's the only company that you're guaranteed for the rest of your life. So learn to enjoy your own company. Learn to be okay with being alone. That is a very, very important quality, because fuck me, my eyebrows look really shitty. Honestly, I suck at doing my eyebrows. If you have tips, let me know. Find people who are genuinely just there to have a good time, to lift each other up, to learn, to making new friends, and finding those people in such a small high school. They might not be there, and it might be hard, and maybe you won't end up with the strongest friends, and you won't end up leaving high school with any friends that you keep for the rest of your life, and that's okay. High school is 4 to 6 years of your life, when hopefully you'll be living till like 80. They are going to pass by. It feels like everything right now, and I get it. You'll forget about them. You'll move on. And I promise you, there is a reason for the saying, they peaked in high school. The people who are spending every waking moment thinking about their status, their popularity, their what's going to make them cool, they are going to leave high school, realize that they didn't put their time and energy into what mattered, and now what? If you don't have a life beyond being cool in high school, sorry to break it to you, but that life is only lasting 4 years, and you need to fucking have something to fall back on at the end of the day. The next thing is parties themselves. Parties, drinking, drugs, all that. If you feel the need to get into that in high school, one, you don't need to. There is so much time in your life where you'll get the opportunity to experiment and explore that part of yourself, but if it's not in high school, that's okay. I really tried that environment, and I did for a while. I was a part of that environment in high school for a while, where I was going to parties every weekend, and then I would leave those situations and be like, I didn't have the slightest bit of fun. Even now, like, I end up finding myself going out, like, now that I'm of age to drink and go clubbing and everything like that, I find myself doing those things and coming home at the end of the night and being like, this isn't all it's made out to be. And for some people it is. For some people, they thrive in those situations, and good for you. You will make the memories that you want to make, and hopefully you'll look back and be glad that you lived it up as a teenager. But for me, that's not really the memories I want to make. I want to make memories of road trips and going to see cool places and hanging out on the beach, whether that involves drinking, having a couple beers, whatever it may be, smoking a little bit of weed. But I'm not one for the environment of the constant party life, the constant going out, getting shit-faced, not really remembering it, waking up feeling worse than I did, feeling anxious, not knowing what I did, second-guessing myself, what I said. That felt fucking awful, and I would regret doing it every time. I'm not going to sit here and say that you absolutely shouldn't, because I do understand there is a portion of people that look back on high school and think, wow, I'm glad I lived it up, and I'm glad I experimented and had that experience during high school. But I know a lot more people that wished they had just enjoyed the smaller things in life. You're gonna have that there for your whole life, and then novelty wears off, and it feels like you're still just trying to be someone you're not. For me, but that might be different for other people. I don't know. But if you're sitting there not being invited to the parties and wishing you were, you don't need to be there. You don't need to be there, and I promise you, 60-80% of the people there aren't enjoying themselves. It might look like it on Instagram. They might post and freaking show it off and you might feel the biggest FOMO, But deep down, everyone finds joy or should find joy in little things, in spending time with the people you love, in going to see nature and making memories that you're going to remember and aren't going to be clouded by substances. And I'm not gonna lie, I still sometimes have fun on a big event, on a special occasion, going to fucking live it up and party and making some not great decisions. And sometimes I do that and I'm like, fuck yeah, I went and had a good night and I celebrated with these things and had a good time. I know that isn't where I get the most of my joy from, so that's not where I'm going to put the most of my time in. But I'm also not going to sit here and be a hypocrite, because I did spend a good fucking majority of my life chugging alcohol. Okay, now I'm going to move on to boys. Boys. I love having crushes. Don't get me wrong. I fucking eat it up. It makes life exciting. It brings joy. It brings excitement. It's like, ooh. Yeah, that's the feeling I get when I have a crush. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years now. Not what I feel anymore. Well, like, I still love him to bits, but like, I don't have crushes anymore. But I know how exciting they can be and how much more fun they can make school and turning up because you want to see that boy, and like, I get it. Like, it's fun. And chatting with your friends about like how good looking he is, or whatever the fuck. It's fun, and it's a part of growing up. It's a part of becoming a teenager and finding attraction to other people and exploring that, and it is fun. But they are still teenage boys. They are still the dumbest creatures on this. No, okay. Teenage boys are something else, and do not think they are something they're not, because I remember, okay, let me tell you about this boy that I had a crush on when I was like 14, 15. For a good, I want to say 1.5 years, 2 years, this boy was my every waking thought. I was enthralled by him. I thought he was the most smoking hot thing ever. He didn't want a bar of me. Honestly, he wanted my best friend, which that's a whole different story for another day that I could cry about. I spent so much time changing myself, making jokes that I think he would find funny, listening to music that I knew he liked, messaging him, trying to get his attention, not focusing in class because I was like literally staring at him. God, down bad for this fucking 15-year-old boy. Like, ugh. Don't make my mistakes. All I remember from that time was how small and awful he made me feel, and how I wish I had just fucking moved on, like shit. But also at the same time, I think crushing on boys is fun, and I think in high school you're going to feel that way. Most of the time you're probably going to feel that way, and you're going to explore your sexuality, and do not let it consume your life. Your life is more important. Where you want to be is more important, because 9 times out of 10, you will not end up with the person that you crushed on in high school. Unfortunately, that's not the case for me, because I met my boyfriend at 16, and I hope I will be with him till the day I die. Fingers crossed. Who knows? But 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen, right? You probably aren't going to end up with the person that you're in love with in high school. And if you let that change who you are, if you let that show in your grades, or let friendships go over boys, you are taking away from who you are, from your values, from where you want to be, for a teenage boy. That's not who we raised. That's not who we raised, okay? That isn't who you are. Pick yourself up off the floor. He's not worth it, okay? Boyfriends in high school are a whole nother story, okay? Do I think boyfriends in high school are a bad thing? No. I think it teaches you a lot about yourself, about future relationships, about I don't know, like fucking life and love. I think it teaches you a lot. But I also think it can go wrong very fast. If you start spending every waking moment with him, if you are spending more time with him than friends and family, you are not allowing yourself to learn who you are, because you don't really know who you are in high school. And I don't know who I am. I'm only 18. But if you are, okay, I live with my boyfriend. I'm being a hypocrite. But what I'm saying is that in high school, you are in the most formative years of your life. And if you are letting this boy or this girl take up more time of your day, then you are not learning who you are without that person. And that is something that is so important to do. You need to learn who you are without a boy or girl in your life as a teenager, because you will regret it in the future if you don't. If you don't allow yourself to make decisions based on what you want without it involving another person, you are going to regret that. Do not sacrifice what you want and who you are for a boy in high school. Please. Don't start spending more time with him than your friends, because your friends are going to be there when he's not, okay? Your friends are going to be there, and if you leave them and cut them off, they won't be. You're also putting yourself in a position where you will feel trapped in that relationship if something goes wrong, if you aren't happy anymore, but you've blocked out your family and friends. You will feel stuck and you will feel lonely, and I don't want you to feel that way. I am so unbelievably happy that I got into a long distance relationship in high school, and even though it was fucking miserable and so hard, it allowed me to not have a choice, but to spend all my time with my friends, with myself, with my family, learning who I am, learning my own values without him involved in all my life decisions was the best thing for me at that time. And now we live together and we are so much better off for it. We know each other on such a deeper level emotionally because of it. And I couldn't be prouder of our little 16-year-old selves. My final thoughts are, if you are coming of age, if you are 14, 15, 16, take each day as it is, enjoy it. Remember that these are the most formative years of your life, but that does not mean they are the easiest or the most enjoyable or fucking any of that, because trust me, you are going through so many changes. You are developing, you are going through puberty, and life is hard at that stage, and you shouldn't put this crazy pressure on yourself to make these incredible memories and make these years the most that they could ever be, because if you're not in the headspace or the situation to do so, that's okay. It's only 4 years of your life, and you are going to continue to make memories, and your memories in your 20s, not that I would know, are going to be more fulfilled because you'll know who you are, you'll know what you want, and that's what matters. But you're also becoming yourself in these years, and you should enjoy it, and you should. I'm still just a kid, and I still put pressure on myself, but we're getting there. I have older siblings, but they had all moved out of home by the time I was going through high school. So I was basically alone, and I had to deal with a lot of high school alone and a lot of emotions and changes alone. So I know how lonely and isolated you can feel, but you're not alone. You'll get through it, you'll survive it, and you'll come out the other side feeling sorry for your high school self, for feeling so much pressure, and for you're so little. You're gonna look back and realize how little you are and how mascara never looks good. I feel like I need a lash lift, a lash tint, but my best friend is a beauty therapist and she fucking moved away, so I haven't had a lash lift in too long, and my mascara just doesn't do enough, and my eyelashes are so short and baby and thin, and I hate it. Okay, now that the curls have fallen out like this, we are going to brush through them, right? Brush through them so that they look like this. But now they look a bit like gross. So now we are going to take, this is the OGX Argan Oil Heat Protectant Spray. And we are going to run that through, like crunch them up, make them shiny and like more defined, and like, see, this side just looks so much more defined, shiny, and this side looks, I don't know. I guess this side looks softer, but I don't know. I like, but yeah, if you guys want more of these like older sister videos, I would love to make them and be your makeshift older sibling. If you don't have one, or if you're too scared to talk to them, or if you don't have the closest relationship with them. I feel like I lose a little bit of my freckles when I do my makeup, so I like to bring them back a little bit. Ow! Oh my god! Ah! Ow! Oh! I just basically like ripped my eye off. That was awful. Fucking Jesus Christ. These are fucking dangerous. This is the final look. I actually feel like it looks good today. Very natural, very cutesy, very demure. No, I'm kidding. If you also like the makeup videos, I do my makeup all day, every day, wash it off for fun and redo it because I just love makeup so much. So I could make 100 of these a day. But yeah, okay, I love you all. Mwah. Let me know what you want to see next.